Welcome everybody to Peace and Plenty Farms, where it's about the harvest. Today I'm going to pick up a little bit where we left off on Friday, and I'm trying a couple of new things on my videoing techniques. I've actually got a microphone here, so maybe that'll reduce some of the noise, and I've got the camera turned around so you can see me. And I'm going to try to point at a few things to get me going this morning. Now, we left off on Thursday with, we were talking about this leak that we have right here in the gas tank. This truck here we've been working on. We've got plenty of other videos on it, but we're about done with it, and gas was leaking everywhere. So I stopped to do a quick video on bullion. There was a YouTube video and it kind of set me off, and so I went to and one of the things I forgot to mention was that, you know, a lot of these bullion dealers say whatever you do, don't buy coins because of the premium. Well, here's a prime example. We have this cough that shut down the entire globe, and the premium went up to $10 per ounce. Anywhere from $7 to $10 per ounce was the premium on silver coins. So if you had spent the extra 10% back when you could purchase the premium for 10%, you saw a 30 to 40% increase in your premium investment. So the educated and informed bullion coin stacker profited quite a bit very quickly, and I think there's more, in my opinion, more profit potential in having a premium on your silver rather than just a bullion bar. I'm not going to go in depth again. We did a big video on that, and the gas was leaking, and I had to get this bed off. You can see I rigged up this cable with a couple of blocks on it at the top and the bottom, and just tied it off to the corners of the bed, and I was able to lift the bed up and put these blocks underneath here to hold the bed. It is tied off, and with these blocks sitting here, it's good and safe. But there's plenty of projects to do. I have been doing a lot of mowing with the Cub Cadets. I've been out with the sickle mower right here, the sickle mower. I haven't actually mowed around the pond yet. I'm just kind of cutting down the rye straw that is out there. The right front tire, if you have seen any of my other videos, I think I'm on my third or fourth time trying to get that tire. And that's what you get for buying cheap crap from eBay. I bought those valve stems off of eBay. Going to have to just throw them all away. I got to head to the auto parts store and get another valve for that right front tire, and I'm going to break that tire down and put a new valve stem on it. So I may do a video on that just to show you how I do that, get that valve stem changed out. The this is what we call my Cub Cadet right here. It is the hydrostatic, and the belt inside the mower, there you can see the mower deck there. Inside the mower deck has come off. I hope it's not the idler pulley. And then her Cub Cadet right over there. I'm getting used to this new video technique of me in front of the video, but hers is right over there. It's the manual one, and I need to change the spark plug in that. I was out mowing with that, and it's just getting too hot. And I'm going to check the oil, and it's got a little rattle in it, so I'm going to check underneath, make sure it's okay. Just a lot of odds and ends today, so we'll see what quality information we can put out today as we're going along. Thank you very much for like, share, subscribe, and remember, it's about the harvest. Thank you. Okay, so on to the next project. It wasn't too bad on the Ranger. I just pulled out my extra parts that I had, and was able to find the pieces I needed. I had them organized in my little shelf over there, and snapped it right back together, put the wheel back on. That project was done. So now I'm on this gas tank, and you can see I took the pump out right there, because the line was broken. And let me bring you over here. This is the piece. This is the pump. Here's the pump right here, the filter. So it comes up and it's broke off right here. The funny thing is, all I did was put the gas cap on, and the pressure from the gas cap, the rust that was on here, caused those two to break. And I had just finished putting the bumper and tailgate and lights and everything on this bed and getting it all secure. And I wanted to show you how maybe a little bit better video on how I got it off by myself. I did a what they call a block and tackle. See how there's two pulleys right there, two pulleys, 1, 2, and then there's two at the top, 1, 2, and then I just I tied the rope off up right there. The rope is tied to that wheel that rolls in that track right there, and then I just ran the rope up and down through the pulley, and then here's my piece right here. And with that block and tackle like that, you can lift a lot more weight by yourself. So I'm able to pull on the rope, and then when I had the bed up in the air, I was able to roll it right inside that track right there and pull it back here like this. Now, I put these are just motorcycle straps, whatever, but I put the ratchets down here at this end on all four corners. See one over there and one right here. That way I could level the bed up at, when I first lifted it, it was out of level. And so I could just ratchet whichever corner I needed to level it out. And then once I had it up and rolled back, I was able to put these blocks underneath of it and let it down onto the frame right there. But back to this situation with the gas tank. So like I was telling you earlier on the Cub Cadets, I went to the auto parts place to get this piece right here. Now this is where the other one is broken off, right here and here, and he said that that's just not available. Whether it's the Cough global shutdown or Toyota and aftermarket parts just aren't supporting these vehicles. Somewhere in between there, they're not available. But like I've said before, having a spare vehicle, and if you look way over there in what I call my junkyard right there, I have another Toyota truck that I picked up fairly cheap, and it has paid off big time. I just went out there and took this gas tank off, and I'm going to rob this piece off of here. Now I'll probably just cut it off right about here and just put a hose, a regular gas line hose, and a intended for gas line clamp right there. Let me show you these clamps. So here's the gas line, but now notice these clamps aren't typical hose clamps. They have an extra piece on the inside right there on the tip of my finger. See how there's no sharp edges to cut into the gas line. A regular hose clamp actually cuts into the gas line, and it deteriorates the gas line in a short amount of time. So be sure if you're doing fuel line replacement to use a hose like a regular fuel hose and fuel hose clamps. Now, I don't ever recommend putting fuel line hoses on the front side of the fuel pump. Back in the day, you could limit yourself to that, but you have to have some kind of rubber connection between the fuel pump in the tank and the engine. So as long as it's underneath the cab, I'm all right with it. But once it gets in anywhere near the cab area, I insist on hard lines, because if you get a broken line and the engine's running, it will cause a real mess for you. I remember one time as a kid, I had a Jeep dually 4-wheel drive. It was an old military Jeep, and it had a V8 and some type of Holley 650, 750 dual feed on it. No, single feed Holley. And I was driving it down the country road, and something happened, and I jumped out and opened the hood, and it was four-wheel drive, so it was up in the air pretty high, and I was a little fellow when I was 16, 17 years old. And so I climbed up inside the engine bay. I had my feet inside the engine bay, and I had the air cleaner off, and the engine was running. For whatever reason, I didn't shut the engine off. I just climbed up inside of there with the engine running. And I started filling with the carburetor. I can't remember what I was trying to do, but I had a rubber hose connecting the hard line to the carburetor. Very short piece of rubber hose, probably no more than an inch long. And it was wintertime, and I slipped, or I had too much pressure or whatever on the where I was propping myself up to reach something, and I broke that hose that was connecting the hard line to the carburetor. So it was only an inch away from the carburetor and only an inch long, and of course it was probably an old rotted hose I'd gotten from somewhere in the first place, and that hose broke, and that engine was running, and so that fuel pump just kept pumping fuel all over the engine. So I took my coat off. I had my coat on, a long sleeve shirt, took my coat off, and I put it over the engine to try to suffocate the fire. It was a small fire, but it was starting to, and I was trying to put the engine out by choking the air in the carburetor with my coat. And I'm patting the coat down all over the engine, and I thought I had it out. The engine shut off. When I lifted up that coat to peek underneath of it, that flame, like a bomb, went off. It blew me out of the engine bay. Now remember, I'm standing inside the engine bay. I'm standing on the frame of the truck inside the engine bay. The fan blade was just a few inches away from my left knee. And it completely blew me out of the truck and burned my hair, burned my eyebrows off, and it burned my long sleeve shirt all the way up to my armpits. And my winter coat went up in flames inside the inside the engine bay. So there I am, standing on the side of the road. I remember there was snow all over the road. I remember there was snow everywhere. I've got burns on my arm. My sleeves are completely burned off. My long sleeve shirt is now a sleeveless shirt, and my coat is completely burned up. I pulled it out of the engine bay and threw it on the ground. It just burned up right there. So I had to patch that fuel line up as quick as I could. I forget how I did it. It was so long ago. You're talking more than 40 years ago. And jump back in there and get that truck running and get the heat going before I froze standing on the side of the road there all by myself. So, needless to say, no hose line, no rubber hose for me anywhere near the engine bay. That was my life lesson right there. Funny stories. I don't know why I have them, but I do. And hope you can bear with me as I tell them. Well, let me get this little piece off here. I've got the screws loose. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to put it in the other tank, screw it down, put my hose lines on it, see if I can get this bed back on. Thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see how the rest of the day goes. See if we have some more videos for you.